Sir Sanford is here. All right, we're live officially. Welcome to another episode of Untitled with me, R. Jones, and of course the crew is here. We got my man Dom sipping up. I just noticed something. You got that Nick hat on while you were sipping your water. Representing. Okay. We also have my man Craig Stevens. Craig, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well.
All right, and thanks for joining us. And last but not least, my good dear friend, childhood buddy, David Sanford is here. Dave, what's going on, my friend?
How you doing, brothers?
Hey, hanging, brother, hanging. You know, that's about it. Glad you guys could join us tonight. Got a really good show coming up. The first thing on the docket, we're going to go in the lane of sports a little bit. What do you guys think about this situation with Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal laughing hysterically over the Los Angeles Lakers, Anthony Davis, after he suffered the head injury? I gotta just say this. I'm a savage. I thought it was funny too. I'm not gonna lie, because I know what they were thinking. Was it wrong? Probably. And they should have. They're professionals, and they should have did much better. I have to give props to their associates, Ernie Johnson, and also Jet Kenny Smith, for trying to remain professional. These guys didn't. And again, like I thought it was funny because I get it. You know, the whole wheelchair exit with to me it's funny because you already know the street clothes moniker is out there about him, and he gets injured if you cut his fingernail, whatever the case may be. So I do understand it, but it was wrong time to express your laughter like that. I just thought it was like kind of funny. And they're saying that the word is, I don't know how true it is, but the word is they could be in some hot water over that. So we'll see. What do you guys feel about this?
I'm gonna let the other brothers chime in, because I'll be honest with you. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Really?
I totally missed this story. I didn't watch the game last night. Too late.
Okay, right.
I was real tired. To be honest with you, I didn't even watch the Knicks game. I just had my phone, and I was exhausted yesterday. So I missed this story.
Right.
I actually caught it on social media today. But You know what, R? I hate to say it is what it is, because you started out with, man, I thought it was funny. And this is what people expect from these shit shows. Excuse my French, but that's what it's become now. Right. Yeah, it's become, these shows have become straight up shit shows, whether it's First Take, the one with Skip and Shannon, the NBA one on TNT.
Right.
It's a whole bunch of talking, bad mouthing people between, Stephen A. with somebody's a scrub, Skip Bayless calling people out their names, Shaq with Shaq and a fool. This is what this generation wants, man.
The hairline jokes.
The hairline jokes just last week, Dave. Remember that one?
Yeah.
The kid from Boston?
Yeah.
This new generation are,
Right.
If it's funny, it sells. If it's stupid, it sells. If you're talking straight sports, and it don't sell. It's like, I'll say this. I read this article a few years ago that the United States of America, 75% of the American population watches at least 16 hours of reality shows a week.
This is true. Yeah, this is true. You're right. You're right. It's like this is a pandemic.
Yeah,
it's been going on for years. It's a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? People say we just coming out of it. No, we're not. We're still in it.
No.
In a different form.
That was pre-COVID.
That's what I said. We were in it before.
Exactly. There is that where they're watching way too much hours on reality TV. It's crazy. It seems like we crave this. They say how sex sells or whatnot. Well, here's another version of it. This is what sells, in recent times, and it's a shame.
People love suffering, R.
Exactly.
We'll probably get to that when we talk about my Knicks, but it is what it is now.
Right. For sure. Craig,
why do you want to be happy? Let Craig tell me why I should be happy, Craig.
Right.
Well, it's their character of Barkley and Shaq. You expect that from them in the same token, you expect Anthony Davis to go down sometime in this playoff. He's always hurt. And when I saw the shot, I'm like, really? Shake it off and stay in the game. But you expect that from Anthony Davis. When is he going to get hurt?
Yeah. And the answer is more likely than later. More sooner than later, should I say. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw the shot too. Because I was looking at it a little earlier today, and I was like you, Craig, I was like, what, that's it?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that I could probably make an excuse for is the fact that, okay, maybe it's a concussion protocol. You want to make sure that he doesn't have concussion. So I could kind of see that, but at the same time, I'm like, really? I mean, I've taken harder hits just being on the subway and trying to excuse myself to get up the goddamn train. So I was like, okay, you want to protect your investment, so to speak. Who knows?
But
Go ahead, Dave. Yeah.
It begs the question though. Skip, Stephen A. played college a little bit, but these guys didn't play in the NBA.
No,
Shaq and Barkley did, and it makes me wonder. Do I expect better from them when it comes to talking about players? Because they played in the league, they know that you can get hurt.
Right.
So I wonder if, do they have to resort to the same level of buffoonery?
Yeah.
Because they're there, they're supposed to be there because they give insight as two guys who played the game on a higher level.
Right.
Now they are funny at times, and I enjoy when they go at each other.
Right.
But I don't really think that. Now I didn't see the injury. I didn't see the after takes by Shaq and Charles to really give context to it, but just on the surface, I wonder how that really travels amongst that brethren of NBA players.
But I was getting ready to say that, Dave. I don't want to hear nobody else talk about this brotherhood, because if that's a brotherhood, you will constantly throw your brother under the bus. I don't want no part of that.
Right.
I will say this though, with all jokes aside, with Anthony Davis, we know it is what it is. But remember last year, guys, we was talking about, and I kept saying the commissioner was going to come up with this policy with this load management.
Right.
Well, between guys like Anthony Davis, and to his defense, he gets hurt.
Right.
But between Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, all this load management stuff, the punishment is now that you have to play 65 games to be in the running for anything. MVP, all defensive player, all NBA, first, second, third team. But we're talking 65 games, guys. That's saying, okay, it's okay to miss 17.
Right.
But you got to play 65. But here's the catch. Two guys made the All-NBA team this year that didn't do it and didn't make the playoffs. So is this going for – and remember something, guys. People that make first, second, third NBA All-Team, that's $5 million, $3 million, $1 million. These are bonuses put in their contracts.
Yeah.
Right.
So now, I mean, is that going to force you to – I don't know. Because even 65 games, guys, I mean, I think what's the name played 66 this year. Joel Embiid, the MVP. And I think Joker played 70.
Right.
And before injury, Julius Randle was one of the only players on pace to hit 82. Nobody does that no more. So if this is the punishment and your bonus may get hit, but we'll see. I mean, again, Anthony Davis, as much as we laugh and joke, guys, his injuries might be a little on the Sharman side.
Yeah.
He does get hurt. It's not like the coach is saying we're load managing Anthony Davis for the next 6 weeks. No, homeboy actually does freakishly get hurt.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you know what, Don, with what you just said about, I think we're seeing, and maybe this has been in the process for a minute now, we're seeing a change in the game. You understand what I'm saying? Not just the whole it being a offensive game now and defense is like wham, wham, so to speak. But as far as like having that Iron Man status, where you might have seen it previously in previous generations, you're not seeing it now. You know what I'm saying? It kind, in a way, and I know it's like comparing apples to oranges, whatnot, but in a way, it kind of reminds me of baseball in regards to pitching.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, right.
I was thinking exactly of that.
That just came to my mind. Look what happened. You had guys that was in there for like at least 7-8 innings at the very least back in the day starting.
So I hate to do the back in the day thing because this is a new game, different game, and all that stuff.
Right.
But I feel like if you take the players of old baseball, basketball, whatever the sport was, there was a time when these guys actually played like they appreciated the fact that they had the opportunity to do this. You know, if you look at baseball out of early baseball out of the Depression era and into the World War II era, where some of these guys actually fought in World War II, took time away, like Ted Williams, for example. These guys seem to appreciate the fact that they had the opportunity to do this, because the opportunity to make a lot of money didn't exist. Unless you were either born rich or you had struck it rich with some level of business acumen. But the ability to do this, a sport, and get paid for it, and they didn't get paid a whole lot of money. No. They seem to really honor the fact that, listen, there are other people out there that would love to do what I'm doing, so I better do my best every night. And sometime, I don't know whether it was the 80s into the 90s or when did it happen in the 2000s, where these guys seem to behave like this is owed to them. And you owe me this money because I'm making you all this money, but on my end, I don't have to perform on a nightly basis. And and this is a generalization of it, again, but I don't see the same type of player.
You say that nowadays, Dave. You know what people say? We're old.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all old. Yeah. Y'all old.
Right, exactly.
Off my lawn type guy.
Right.
And I'll be that.
Right. And I used to always think when this started manifesting, I used to always think, and y'all know I'm a baseball guy. I used to always think, man, if anybody would want to load manage, it would be a baseball player.
Yeah.
Right.
Playing 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I started getting even more bizarre when I really started getting into numbers. I was like, an NBA game is 48 running minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's on TV for 2.5 hours. That means on an average day, each player, timeouts, halftime, and don't let it be a nationally televised game.
Yeah.
You're getting about 120 minutes of rest during that game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's when I started losing it, guys. I was
and you can sub in and sub out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like baseball.
Yeah, I'm just talking timeouts and commercials.
Right.
I ain't talking about when they take you out the game.
Yeah.
Right.
That's even more minutes.
Right.
On an average, there's 110 dead minutes.
Right.
In an average basketball game.
Okay.
Dead minutes. And I said, if it's ABC, TNT, a playoff game, championship game, we see it. Sometimes these commercials are like 2 days long.
Exactly.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Remember when they used to say 30-second timeout?
Yeah.
And the damn timeout was 5 minutes?
Right. Yeah. You're like, what the freak?
So 30 seconds.
So with that and that's an excellent observation there, Don, because with that being said, let me just throw out a little hatred. So what do you tie? Why do you even need load management if that's the case?
Right.
That's how I started this, R. I started dwelling into these numbers with y'all actually a few years ago.
Yeah.
Load management. I'm like, even on a regular MSG Yes
Right.
Network for the Knicks and the Nets.
Yeah.
That's 100 minutes on your average game.
Right.
It elevates broadcast. You know that.
Right.
ABC, ESPN, all of them they're the ones getting paid. They're the ones
Right,
getting
right.
paid by the NBA. So, or they're paying the NBA and they're getting paid. So that means they need endorsements, they need commercials.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, tell the truth. Tell the
and-
truth, guys. There's been games during the timeout. Last night, for example, I'm watching the Knicks game.
Okay.
They called the timeout. I went in my refrigerator, took out my soda,
Right.
took out my ice cream, got my cups, got my straws. I made a damn root beer float. This big. It was a big one. I came back. I said, oh, hell, I forgot my straw.
Right.
Went back. Now, Craig's been in my house, so the kitchen's not that far from the living room. But I
Okay.
went back to get my straw.
Right.
The game still ain't on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm drinking the float.
Wow.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. You don't have to run to the bathroom anymore. You can
Dude,
take
that's
your-
crazy.
But and God forbid the game is on ESPN because then you're gonna
Yes.
get a Disney trailer for their next movie.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Every Marvel movie
Yep,
coming out from
there you
now
go.
till
Yeah.
2025.
Right.
You get
Right.
you get the whole thing.
Hell yeah.
And the funny thing is, again, we've done this for so long and we know each other.
Yeah.
Every year we talk about Disney making cuts. And again, they own ESPN. So
Mhm.
some of their cuts are
Yeah.
Mhm.
but they ain't
Mhm.
losing no money on these commercials.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
And I don't care
No.
what sporting event it is, guys. It could be hockey,
Yeah.
it could be Sunday night baseball, it
Mhm.
could be the NBA.
Right.
It's and they say speed the game up. Baseball, not to get off track. We need
Right.
to speed
That's
the
okay.
game up in baseball. Okay, so far, I think they're saying with these new rules, we're saving 38 to 39 minutes a game.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But that don't happen on ESPN.
No.
That don't
How
happen
about
on the
that?
Sunday night or the Saturday game
That's
on
right.
Fox.
That's
Exactly.
It
right.
won't happen then.
There you
But
go.
we won't pay attention that well.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll pay attention during the season.
Mhm.
But no,
Right.
when it comes to the commercial and the endorsement money,
Mhm.
Yeah, they're not gonna
they
mess with
forgot
that.
to hit the clock.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a
And I kind of
legitimate-
like it, guys. I like that they sped up the game
Mhm.
because we're old enough to remember, not to get off my lawn, Dave,
Yeah.
but we're old enough to remember Nomar Garcia
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
100%.
taking 6 hours to fix
100%.
his batting gloves, and he didn't
Exactly.
even swing.
Yeah,
Right.
yep, yeah,
There you go. There you go.
100%.
You know.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No, that's fine. I got no problem with that. It's true facts, man. Speak on it.
Yeah, we're gonna let's go from Untitled to the Four Old Guys podcast.
Yeah.
And Craig's
gonna
quite
be-
a few years younger than us, but he's getting there.
Getting up there, getting up there.
You
That's
hang
all right.
around us long enough.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club. Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome you in anyway. That's all.
Craig's
it
gonna
is.
stop hanging out with us. He's gonna be like, damn, these guys. Dom was old, but damn, these guys. are worse
Craig
than
gonna
Dom.
get off the camera and his knees are gonna hurt.
Oh man. There you go.
He had more surgeries than all of us.
You know what I'm saying? For real, man. But you know what? Let's still stay in the lane of the NBA. Let's go into the 22-23 NBA semifinals review thoughts. We're gonna start off with your team, Sir Dom, since you mentioned the Knicks a little bit. So why not start off with it? And the shirt too. I didn't even notice that. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they staved off elimination. Congratulations in New York last night. I gotta tell you, I know some of y'all was very nervous last night. You can't tell me you wasn't in that first half. But that second half, they did their thing. And I think if Bishop was here, Bishop had said that Miami, and this is the total truth. What happened yesterday with Miami, they had that game where they was missing everything. They were bricking shots left and right. You understand? And I was like, okay, what are you guys doing? You know, of course I'm rooting for them. I'm sorry, I gotta be me, man. I gotta be me. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm not a Knicks fan, so you know, but at the same time, Jalen Brunson, I've said this too many times already. That guy is their MVP. Period. Point blank. I'm sorry, Julius.
Yeah.
But, you know,
it is what it is.
He does his thing from time to time, but this is a guy that's been steady and reliable all year long for this team. He is their unquestioned leader. You understand? There's no doubt. Nobody can take that man. At least to me, no one can take that mantle away from him. You know what I'm saying? And I think he should have been definitely in consideration. Not saying winning, but MVP for sure.
Yeah, he could have gotten some votes.
He could have got some votes. I think he should have got some votes. That was much deserved. You know,
he
like I
didn't
said,
he didn't make first, second, or third.
which is
All
ridiculous.
NBA.
Which is ridiculous. You understand? When you see the Knicks and you see the effect this guy has done to this team, just with his presence alone and his skill, it's been off the charts. Put it like this. Again, I'm not a fan of the Knicks, but when I see Brunson with the ball, I get nervous because I know a 2 or a 3-point shot's going to be made or a 3-point play is going to be made on his skill. I get nervous. I'm not going to lie because, again, I'm not a fan, so I'm rooting against him.
Right.
When I see him with the ball, I'm like, oh, here he goes with this nonsense. And sure enough, the teardrop. Listen, the man is fan. Yeah, he's fantastic.
I've seen him do some things. Yeah, that's
sure.
I'll be honest with you. Like I saw him, college, and of course, I saw his father, back in college too.
Okay.
So when the off season came and the Knicks were looking at him, I was questioning it because I thought, were they going after him because of his performance? Last year in the playoffs and stuff, and is it one of those things where okay, you got excited about what he did in those few games, and then they're going to bring him to New York, but once we got him and I started seeing what this guy can do, I was pleasantly surprised because I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch a lot of his game. But to see what he does, and then I had the fortune of going to Nets game at the Garden when he just went bananas on your team. So I saw that in person. This guy has definitely impressed me. So for them to get a free agent and all the shenanigans that went on, about getting him and then for him to perform the way he has in New York, a tough place to
I was about to add that.
I give him major props for that.
Right, exactly.
It's weird because if you go back pre-free agency last year, the knock was why the money, he's small, he only, for those that don't watch nothing except playoff games, he did this in one playoff series. No, he didn't. If you watched, I mean, he actually carried them. And my thought was, imagine this guy on a team, whether it was my Knicks or not. I knew the Knicks were going to get him. When the Knicks went and hired his father.
That was it.
They're going to get fined for this. It's going to come out sooner or later. They're going to lose money in a draft.
Right.
I don't care about the draft pick. We have enough of them. But the funny thing was, when you said the money, we got him on the low.
Right.
We got him on the cheap. RJ Barrett is going to be the highest paid Knick come June 15th.
Which is ridiculous.
Which is insane. But that being said, we got him on the low. But I kept thinking to myself, if this guy could get 16, 18 on a team with the white version of James Harden, Luka Doncic, ball dominant, dribble 22 seconds out of 24. Imagine him on a team where he ain't got to watch this nonsense. And he could be the ball. The ball's in his hand. Now, I will admit, as a Knicks fan, that should he pass more? I think last night he had 7, 8 assists. Might have been the first time in quite some time he had that many assists. I do still think there are times, as great as he's played there are times where I think he's almost turning into Luka and Harden with the dribble. Pounding. He's just effective at doing it. But when he's not effective because of what Miami was doing, it was only a matter of time, guys. He kind of got an alibi against Cleveland. Cleveland's one of the rare teams, and Miami, actually, except Miami switched it up.
Mm-hmm.
Miami and Cleveland are probably two of the only teams in the NBA where he's playing against a point guard he's taller than.
Yeah.
That don't happen because he's so small.
Yeah.
Miami threw a wrinkle, and they started doing that box and sending longer guys at him.
Right.
Didn't stop him.
No.
It didn't stop him.
It didn't.
And then I look at the series, and what's ironic, and not because I'm a Knicks fan, straight up numbers. Miami's 30th in scoring. They average 109 points a night. How many times do you think they scored 109 points this series? Once.
Yeah, about to say either
they
zero
average,
or once.
Their average field goal percentage, which is close to last, they shoot 46% from the field. How many times do you think they shot 46% from the field in this playoff series?
Probably once. Oh, wow.
Zero.
Wow.
Then you look at all the hype that people were giving to Lee Martin, Duncan Robinson, all of these guys. And I'm thinking, man, these dudes are 9.9 a night guys. Okay. Everybody finds a squirrel and a nut and all that good shit once in a blue moon. Sooner or later, the cow comes home to roost, and they're going to go back to being who they've been all season. And call it luck. I don't. I look at, again, this is who they are. We could talk Jimmy Butler, the next whoever, all we want. Like last night, you didn't hear jack about this. Jimmy Butler had 12 points in the first quarter. He had 19 points for the game.
Right.
Where was that Jimmy Butler?
Yeah.
Where was Eric Spoelstra, the genius, the Mad Hatter, when he decided to do the Hacker Robinson? Not doing the math. By him doing that, you not only put Mitchell Robinson on the foul line, which is crazy itself, the way you shoot, but what are you doing? You're shrinking your personal fouls for your team. The Knicks shot 42 foul shots.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Nobody said nothing about that because Spoelstra is the next, Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, but he blew that game. Far be it for me to say it, he blew that game. He actually gave the Knicks a get-out-of-jail-free card when your team made a comeback. Remember, we came out smoking in the third quarter.
Yes, y'all did.
We was up by 16 points.
Exactly.
18 points.
Exactly.
Y'all came back, and you decided to do the Hacker Robinson. Next thing you know, we got 42 foul shots.
Right.
So he wound up out coaching himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you didn't hear that.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that.
I want to go back to something.
19 points. Yeah, it's weird.
I want to go back to something that you said, Dom. When we're measuring point guards and we look at assists, the obvious thing about assists is that you're passing the ball and somebody's making the shots. So
I know where you're going.
I wonder if a truer measure is the assists are great, but the opportunities that you're presenting your teammates, because if the Knicks can't shoot the ball in the Hudson River, some nights he can pass it to them all he wants, and they're not making the shot. So his numbers are going to look on the assist line not as great, but they were bricking some shots early in that season.
You know what? That's a good point.
It don't help, Dave, that the Knicks are predominantly Brunson added, subtracted, are a ISO team.
Yeah.
Julius Randle gets it, he goes ISO. RJ Barrett gets it, he goes ISO. And you know what, guys, through that whole lead and all the great soliloquy I just gave y'all, it seemed to me watching this game, RJ Barrett, and I know I beat him up a lot, guys, but if y'all watch the game, I'm thinking to myself, this guy is doing everything under the sun for us to lose this game with under 2 minutes left. Dumbass shots, losing the ball, freezing up, coming down court. Like, is he on the take? Is he got money on this game?
He's like
he did everything under the sun.
His favorite play is 1 against 5.
Right, exactly. Bro, he's a true enigma, to tell you honestly.
Did you watch the game? Rob,
I watched it. I watched it.
I'm seriously thinking, is this guy Donahue? Remember the ref?
Right.
Is his brother on the fence? Who's paying this fool?
Check his FanDuel's account.
I'm trying to tell you, man, something, because I don't get it, man. I'm like, dude, hold on. Our brother Craig, you got something to say about this, man?
I didn't see the game because of getting home late and
Okay.
like I said, I'm finishing up this season, so I haven't. I've been catching the highlights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I hear you,
I'm
man.
good.
Okay, so don't want to think we leaving you out the loop, brother.
No.
That's all. Okay.
But
You know what I'm
again,
saying?
I will say this. Maybe next year I'll try this because every talking head that covers the NBA says regular season ain't nothing. I'm thinking, why am I going to invest? Other than this year, we got a break. League Pass was $99. It's normally $200 and something.
Yeah. Okay.
Why am I investing all this money? I should just be like everybody else, not watch the regular season. And if a whole bunch of people do this, the NBA's revenue goes down, the ratings go down. Maybe they'll wake up that, you know what? Maybe we should take the regular season a little more serious.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you know what? Everything I said earlier with Miami's numbers, the Knicks' numbers, 3 out of 4 this season. Sooner or later, you are who you are, guys. We could TNT, ESPN, the mothership. They could all build this up to Miami is this juggernaut. No. Now, can the Knicks go to Miami and shock them in Game 6 and bring it back to the Garden? Well, you know what? The ball got to go up in the air.
Yeah.
You got to play the game.
Yeah.
I fail to believe the Knicks are going to shit the bed again the way they did the 2 games last week in Miami.
Okay.
I fail to believe that.
Yeah,
but,
I agree, Dom.
Yeah.
I
will say this before I let it go, what Knicks fans say. I definitely got my money's worth out of the Knicks this year.
Yeah,
because
I did too.
If you was to tell me when we started talking, guys, in October, that the Knicks would be a 6 seed, the Knicks would be 2 wins away from going to the Eastern Conference Championship, we'd all laugh at each other.
Yeah. You got that right.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Yeah.
So
some of us are
from here is
still
a bonus
laughing.
for me. Yeah.
It's
a bonus. It's a bonus for me now.
Right.
And you know what? I will say this, Dom. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, brother.
The thing about the Knicks with this series, though, their ineptitude put themselves in this position that they shouldn't be in.
Yes,
without a doubt.
This series should have been over,
without a
or
doubt.
at
In
least
5.
or at least with them, up 3-2, because their failures early in this series put them in this position that they're in now, where they have to fight and claw, and every game is an elimination game. So they didn't have to be there.
Right.
I go back to what I said last night on our Bleed Blue show after the Knicks game. It was like when I watched this, before I even watched the game last night, I'm thinking to myself, the Knicks started off like crap. They went on a 9-game winning streak. Right after the 9-game winning streak, they lost 6 in a row.
Right.
Down the road, 8-game winning streak.
Yeah.
5-game losing streak. So it's like a tale of 2 seasons with the
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now they start off this series pretty bad. Somehow, some way, managed to get this shit to 3-2. Are we going to see the other side? Are we going to see the Knicks team that went on these runs?
Right.
And I guess that's what gives me a little hope that I've seen this movie. I actually seen this movie this year.
Well, and I'm sorry, Facebook user. I don't know who that is. I can't wait. Maybe I can see. Hold on a second. They say that they can win in Miami. Game 4 was quite the winnable game for them. I agree with that, and I agree that they can win in Miami. The key for me, honestly, is Randall. You understand? His demeanor on the court, by the way he plays, is going to say a lot. If he's having one of those nights where his shot is off, and you see the bonehead plays by him from time to time, then you're gonna see the sulking. That's the whole body language. That's not gonna be good for that team.
I think people are kind of running with that
really
on the occasion he does do that. Like I got into it with Bishop last night.
Okay.
Oh, he spends a lot of time arguing with the refs.
Well,
I'm like, Bishop, that's the NBA. So somebody's bickering every other play in the NBA. LeBron James rolling on the floor like a fish out of water. Nobody says nothing. And I'll tell you what, in the last 2 games, Julius Randle and a whole lot of Knicks have some shit to complain about with those fouls being called in these last 2 games.
Right.
I started thinking what Donnie said when he got busted. I ain't the only one.
Right.
I ain't the only one on the tape.
Well, speaking of your boy, he's here.
My man.
Sir Bishop, your mic is live. Thank you for tuning into Untitled. How are you, sir?
Yeah, what's going on, fellas?
All right. Good to have you on.
Good to be on. Good to be
right on cue. Talking about your team. Right on cue.
Yeah. I heard yeah, I've been thinking that since before the playoffs started, like how all of these calls are being missed, like obvious calls are being missed. It's like sometimes you got to look at, start an investigation and see what the point spread is on some of these games.
Okay.
Based on obvious calls being missed, like calls like right in front of the officials. So I'm not I'm Knicks 110%, but
right.
it's like you got to play ball at a certain point. You can't get so wrapped up in pouting that you forget that you guys still got a job to do.
Right.
And I think one of the things that Randall is just like, you just get caught up in the, oh, I didn't get this call, or you call this charge on me, or whatever, and then you can't get out of that you can't get out of it. It's like at some point you just got to play ball. It's like you like to play physical, play physical. Until the referee says, nope, we're not going to tolerate that, then you do what you do. Like, why are you trying to avoid a foul, offensive foul on Kyle Lowry? Run through him.
Right. And that's the thing. And that, you know what, Bishop? That's the thing. The thing is, he could dominate this Miami team.
Absolutely.
You understand? He could dominate this. And I think you said it before, if I'm not mistaken. He could dominate this team. He could have his way. You understand? So you need to focus on that.
Yeah, it's like you get so wrapped up in the fact that the referees missed this chippy call, the referees didn't give you this, or you felt like you got touched over here, or it's like,
but it does become a deterrent, Bishop, when, as we all know, when he goes down low, he's going to try to bully you to death. But because you're calling all these fouls, I'm hesitant. I'm not Julius Randle. I'm talking about Dominic right now. I'm hesitant to do maybe A and B because I see where this is going. And it's been going this way for a good 3 games now.
Yeah, but when do you
serious ticky-tacky bullshit fouls, guys? I mean, I'm just being honest, not as a Knicks fan. And you know what? I've seen it in other games. For those watching other games other than the Knicks, you're seeing this. It's like, again, like I hate to say, like Bishop said, with the point spread, TV revenue. Are we trying to create something that shouldn't be created? I'm not going to get into somebody cheating, fixing. It just looks kind of strange, guys. I'm not no X-Files type dude, but it just looks a tad bit strange that this has gone on again in the Knicks series, at least 3 games. In the Denver series, at least 2 games. Phoenix, that they're down 3-2. And there's been some calls in that series I'd be watching. I'm scratching my head thinking, I keep saying the same thing. Was Donnie, he telling the truth? When he got busted and he said, I ain't the only one. I'm just saying, it just seems really strange. And we all know, no joke against Bishop, but we all know with these point spreads and all this legalization of betting, you can't watch an NBA game, guys, where they're not doing 101 commercials on betting.
Okay, so then what the hell is what do you call it for then? The replays, instant replays. What about that? Should be a factor.
That's ridiculous. It's idiotic. Like one time
you can only use
watch
it once,
right? And one time you watch it, and they're telling you one thing. Like last night, typical example. Jimmy Butler goes up to shoot a shot, and then he kicks his leg out after he shot the ball.
Yeah,
right.
Kicks his leg out to create some kind of contact.
Yes.
Then the referees, they call a foul, then they go and they call a flagrant foul. I'm like, obviously he's kicked his leg out. He's worked on this maneuver to kick his leg out so that he creates some kind of contact and then falls.
And what was their answer, Bishop? That was a normal basketball move.
basketball move. It's like that's not a normal basketball move for you to jump
Really?
straight up
Yeah.
and shoot the shot and then kick your leg out as I'm the
Right.
defender jumping up to contest. That's not a normal basketball
No.
shot where you create contact and you put your foot near my feet when you're landing. That was like ridiculous. And again, like a lot of the calls that Randall is getting is like offensive foul calls. It's like you could have stopped that in game 2 when they started making those calls. Earn them. Get your money's
Earn 'em.
worth. Get your money's worth. Kyle Lowry wants to stand down there. I'm 6'9", 260. I'm coming in there hot, and I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping.
You just got to knock him out, huh, Bishop?
I'm not stopping. Yo, if you have abdominal contusions, some broken ribs or whatever, you send a message. Don't stand in front of me because you're going to get it. Like Karl Malone used to do that all the time. It's like, how many guys took charges on Karl Malone coming down on that pick and roll? It's like, yo, you standing there, yo, you getting forearms, you getting elbows, you getting knees, you getting me. Like I'm jumping up and I'm landing on you.
Right.
For the sake of you being there.
Right.
And it's like, dude, like
then
why you
again,
trying to...
Bishop, that was another era. But to R's point, and you just proved it. Well, everybody that saw it, R said, "Don't they have instant replay?" They reviewed that call.
Right.
They actually reviewed
now,
that call.
That one was ridiculous. I'm not going to deny that. I was like, yo, everybody and their mama could see that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
They reviewed it.
You know?
A normal basketball move.
Yeah.
This whole idea that every time I'm really getting sick and tired of like, so now it gives the referees a forum to put themselves, to inject themselves. Oh, upon review of the video that we just saw, and from Secaucus, New Jersey, they reviewed as well. We've determined that blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, like, we don't need all of that. What's the call? What's the call? And keep it. Oh, well, let's review it again. They're going to come back and stand next to each other, touch one another's shoulders, form a semicircle, then form a triangle, then go back to the video, put the headphones on. It's like, do we really need to, you know?
It's like they're trying out for a play or a movie role.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all theatrics now. It's like straight up theatrics.
A chorus line.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Make the call. Or, you know what? I think, but then again, people already complain, and you only get one. And people already complain about, these reviews. And, well, it ain't Coach Thibodeau or Coach Spoelstra or Coach Bishop's fault that he hit the buzzer for a review. It ain't Bishop's fault that it's taking y'all 20 minutes to review the shit. That's got nothing to do with the coach and the game. That has something to do with y'all, Secaucus, the man on the moon, whoever else is reviewing this nonsense that is taking on some occasions 5 to 6 minutes to review a play that me, you, Dave, Bishop, Craig have seen on TV, just like them. And we're saying, no, that really didn't happen. They're going to overturn this. And 6 minutes later, Bishop ain't really see what he thought he saw. I don't get it. And I will say, I'm telling you guys, I'm not saying it because I'm a Knicks fan and they're down 3-2. This probably is one of the most bizarre called games and quite a few games I've seen in quite some time, guys. And I try to watch a little bit of all these games. It's just getting hard to watch. Serious. It's just becoming hard to watch.
It is. It's ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? For real. Yeah.
I don't understand. To me, it's just like at a certain point, you just got to say, okay, well, and it's like, is Jimmy Butler like the boogeyman or something? Like he does the same move every single time. Like he dribbles down into 5 to 10 feet from the basket, draws the up fake, dribble, up fake, lean into you. If he can't draw the foul there, then he'll pivot out, look for somebody wide open or cutting around on the perimeter for a wide open three, or bam, cutting to the basket. This is the same move like every single time. Like, okay, so Jimmy Butler throughout his whole career, we've never seen him. We've never said he's that guy. No matter how many, we've never said that he's that guy. We've never
Right.
put him in the top 10 or whatever. So yeah, he's having a good run now, but like you said, Dom, the law of averages.
Mhm.
It's like at some point you got to say, all right, enough of this shit. Enough of this. You know, let's shut this dude down and let's make sure we guard the perimeter. And
And
it's
for the
just like,
most part, Bishop, like I said earlier before you came on, they basically have done that. They've held Miami under their scoring average, under their field goal percentage average, under their 3-point percentage average. Again, they've had guys that, again, 9 points a night, hitting 17, 18, 21. That was
the-
rare occasions. It's the Knicks that just just can't seem to score. And
execute. They can't seem
yeah,
to execute.
execute. And the sad thing is their bench is killing us. And that was one of our strong suits during the season.
That's
Our
why we
bench is
can't
getting
afford.
outplayed 32 to 10, 22 to 10.
Yeah,
That didn't happen during the regular season. We prided ourselves in that. Again, if I could say to other teams that the chickens have come home to roost,
Mhm.
maybe they have for the Knicks too. Is Obi Toppin, you know, what is he? He's a part lamppost, part I don't know.
yeah,
I,
he's
I
another one.
just wish, yeah, I just wish he would never shoot another 3-pointer
Yeah.
until next year or on another team or I pass away. I just can't stomach watching him shoot 3-pointers no more.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. You're 6'8", very agile, and you're not trying to get to the hoop except by accident.
Mm.
Really? Come on,
Mm.
man. Come on.
It's that
Don't give me
mentality,
where
yeah.
he was drafted. I don't buy that nonsense no
Mhm.
more. No, I don't. He just seems to be, and I can't always blame Tibbs because I've watched enough games this season where he was standing in that corner and Thibodeau was yelling. I could hear him through my TV screen. Move, move. And he's standing there. Or he'll move. He'll go from one corner to the other. I'm like, who gave this guy permission to launch threes at a steady pace? Then I start thinking, with all the crazy Obi fans, maybe this is the reason he's only getting 10 minutes a night. Is it? I don't know. I'm not saying Tibbs is the smartest man on earth. But if you're not listening and doing what the coach tells you, then you're going to get yanked. So, but
Mhm.
I don't know his role, guys. I mean, again, it came back to haunt us at the wrong time.
Mhm.
But they got to figure this kid out, man. If they have any long-term goals for him, they got to figure him out. What's your role? What's your mission? Because I sure as hell don't know. After 3
Well-
years, I still don't know.
Well, I think maybe they saw some type of potential in him, especially after that one game we had the career high. I forgot, was he 32 points or some nonsense he had scored because Randall was out. And this is
Yeah.
like around the time when the regular season was about to end.
Last year.
You know?
Well, it happened last year too, when Randall sat out them games.
And this guy was like going off of points. It was like probably akin to like watching Mitchell Robinson on a YouTube video.
Right.
Okay.
And nobody wanted to admit those games the Knicks were playing teams that were either out of it, already in the playoffs, resting their players. So he's basically playing against G League players. And you've been in the NBA 3.5 years. So it's like us sending him still to play Summer League.
Right.
And everybody getting excited. Man, you see what R did in Summer League? Dude been in the NBA 18 years. He should be killing people in the Summer League. I mean, please.
For some strange reason, I don't know what it is, but on defense, he's always out of place. Still.
Oh, God, Bishop, stop.
Still.
Oh.
And on offense, it's like, okay, there's only one other person in that series that could probably match your athleticism. So, and Strus is not one of them.
No.
Kevin Love is not one of them. It's Caleb Martin and maybe Bam. So why is it that you can't dribble and go to the hoop? Or why is it that if Randall is not having a bad game, you coming in as a sub, that you don't have to be so judicious with your fouls, or your defensive closeouts or whatever? Why is it that you only have one foul and like he's always out of place defensively, and it's just like at some point you got to think, okay, well, I'm athletic and I'm quick. Let me use this on the defensive end because you sure damn well when that ball comes off the rim, if you're not getting the rebound, you down court before anybody else. So what that says is you got hustle. You got hustle. You just choosing to use it
Right.
where you want to use it. And it's like, okay, so our two forwards, so he comes in for Randall. So Randall is in his feelings. He can't seem to get out of his feelings because the referee didn't give him a call or because he pump fake Cody Zeller like 5 times and Cody Zeller blocked the shot. So now he can't seem to get over that play.
Right.
You sub him out, and now Obi Toppin comes in and doesn't want anybody to touch him. So he's running out to the 3-point line to launch it as quickly as possible so nobody touches him. And again, it's like, for me, the most disappointing part is this is a tailor-made series for Randall's type of game.
Right. Exactly.
It's tailor-made for his type of game.
I agree.
Like he should be like Brunson shouldn't be bearing the brunt of the offensive load. It should be Randall.
Word.
Like they should be trying to figure out how the hell are we going to stop this dude from getting to the basket or hitting us with the mid-range, or like let's just back off and let him have the threes then, because we can't stop him from getting to the basket. Bambi's getting into foul trouble, this and that, because Kevin Love can't guard him. And who are you going to get? Cody Zeller? Cody Zeller got he got 2 left feet. So who are you going to get to guard this guy? And everybody else is too small. So
I agree.
I'm like, okay, so you mean Brunson has to bear the brunt of the offense because you can't get out of your way and stop pouting.
Right.
This whole series, at some point you got to say, okay, let me put on my big boy pants and let me go out here and let me get some work in. Let me get some work in.
Right.
If they're going to make these calls or whatever, you could have stopped Kyle Lowry from stepping in front of you, drawing charges. Or Gabe Vincent, like you were doing it all season. Gabe Vincent comes down there to double team you, hit him right in his fucking face with an elbow. It's an offensive foul. Oh, well, you've been doing it all season.
Right.
He's been playing like that all season, like going to the basket, hitting dudes with elbows because they put in their face where they're not supposed to put their face. And now all of a sudden you get cute and you want to just sit there and complain to the referees. It's like, if I'm the referee, I'm not giving you the call either. I'm not giving you the call either. And you can't tell me that Miami is that tough.
Right. Right. Well,
I think we said that before you came on. We should be up. This series should have went 5.
Yep.
Max 6. We've had a lot of things go wrong. I mean, again, when you compare both our power forwards, as shitty as Randall has been playing, his field goal percentage, he's still giving us 20, 10, and 4.
Right. Yep.
So you put Obi in for his splendor minutes, man, give us 6, 8, maybe 3, 4 rebounds. And we're good. We're good. Then you go back to the bench and you come back in early 4th quarter, give him a break, get some rest. There's a reason that Thibodeau's playing his starters this many minutes, because we ain't getting jack from the bench.
No.
Nothing.
Then I ask myself as well, Spoelstra's he's not performing in Magic. The only thing that they're doing is shrinking the game. The average NBA game is 85 to 105 shots a game. That's what the average game is. And the reason why Miami were so bad during the regular season is because they couldn't stop everybody from getting their shots. They couldn't stop mediocre teams from getting that amount of shots because Miami doesn't have the offense to match unless they slow the game down to a snail's pace. And in the regular season, it's just not palatable for you to play basketball that way because teams are getting up and down. Whether you like it or not, they're getting up and down. So Miami's problem all season was they couldn't stop other teams from scoring. They were having problems scoring and hitting their shots. But in this series, if you notice, I think the most shots that either team has gotten each game is about 85 shots. And in some of the games, they've taken almost the same amount of shots. Like Miami is taking 80 and the Knicks are taking like 79 or 78 or whatever it is. So they're slow.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me, guys, but they remind me, remember the old Memphis Grizzlies that just took the air out the ball, except they had some big bodies to go down low and take that time off the clock. But that's who they remind me of. They're not in no rush to score. That's why they were 30th in scoring.
Right.
They was 30th in field goal percentage. That tells you something. And like Bishop said, they're not taking the average amount of shots that a team takes in the NBA. And this is the weird thing. They're not taking as many shots. And they're still shooting worse than everybody except two teams. They're scoring less than everybody but two teams.
Right.
So, but you know what, guys? At the end of the day, as much as it pains me to say it, if it works for you, hey,
they get into the free throw line.
I just don't think it can sustain.
No.
And again, not just being a Knicks fan, I think the Knicks go to Miami because hopefully they shook off some of this dumb shit like they did in the regular season. Can't do this, can't do that, ups, downs, all around. They go to Miami. Like I always say, guys, you got to put the ball in the air. Let's play the game. If the Knicks happen to steal that game, guys, and we got a game 7 at the Garden, a game 7 to see who goes to the conference finals. When's the last time that's happened at Madison Square Garden? I can't tell you. I'm asking.
Randall owes us one of those games. He owes us one of those games.
I would have to agree.
He owes us one of those games where he just is like, like on the balls of his feet and kind of like doing what he does. And it doesn't matter who's in front of him. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. He owes us one of those games.
40 plus. 40 plus.
I'll be satisfied with the 30. And Brunson gets his numbers, and you kind of like put a muzzle on RJ so he's not wilding out, because sometimes he has like if Randall and Brunson are going, then he feels like, hey, let me get in here and
like a little kid.
Like throw up a couple of wild shots and do something that, like, no, stay within your 8 to 12 shots.
I meant to mention it last night, and I was telling R and them.
What's that?
I swear to God, man, I'm watching that game, and I'm thinking, this guy's trying to do everything in his power to lose this game.
Exactly.
In the last 2 minutes, I'm like, what is going on? Is he on the take? Is he got money?
Right.
In no way in hell. Everything he did in them last 2 minutes, Bishop, was like either he was scared.
It was ridiculous.
He turned back into RJ, or he was getting paid.
Yeah.
I can't tell you which one it was, but
it's like, why was he in the game? Why was he even in the game? Did Hart foul out? Did Hart foul out or something?
No, I think Bishop, because again, I said this a minute ago. There's a reason Tibbs is playing the starters this much, is because the bench ain't playing, and then of course you take away Quickly, who hasn't had a great series, but he was at least that extra guy to come in to give you, even on an off night, 10, 12, maybe 13. We're missing him. When you do put Deuce McBride in, it's really just so, Brunson can go hit the oxygen tank, and he's coming right back in the game. So, yeah, they're strapped, and Hart, I hate to say it, have the wheels come off him,
Well, he
hasn't done nothing in quite some time.
But I'm saying he's playing in a role that he wasn't brought into. He's not a starter.
No,
he's not. No,
but even last night, Bishop, they put him back on the bench, and he, I hate to say this, you talk about Randall with the pouting. This guy walks down the court after the tip-off complaining. I'm like, what happened? What is he complaining about now?
But it's contagious, though. It's contagious.
Right.
It's contagious. It's like when one guy starts it, then the other guy starts. It's like, Hart, you've been notorious for, no matter what's going on, I'm still playing, no matter what, because it's not like they're depending on me for like minutes or for me to conserve fouls or whatever. So he's the guy who can play loosey-goosey out there. You know what I'm saying? And not really have to be concerned with, am I going to foul out or am I going to do this?
Right.
What I will say is, somehow we've got to inject Grimes his confidence, because it's like, dude, like Miami is playing zone. That's perfect for you, because you can shoot the ball from anywhere. You don't have to be in the corners. You can shoot the ball from anywhere behind that line. That's your shot. So why is it that the ball is not finding him, or why isn't it that he's not taking those shots when the ball does come to him? Because there's been a couple of times.
He's a strange bird too, Bishop. Because you know what? me and Steve from the Bleed Blue Show, we caught on to something earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
If he's left wide open, he can't score. If somebody's running at him or gets a hand in his face, he's lightning in the bottle. So, hey, Grimes, wait for the guy to get next to you. Hey, Nick, don't pass him the ball until somebody's right next to him.
Right.
I'm telling you, me and Steve started doing this probably in like February.
Really?
Man, is it us? This guy can't shoot for shit when he's wide open.
Really?
Put somebody in his face, and he becomes Jerry West. I'm like, all right, Steve, let's watch this for the next. We watched this for like 3 months. And if you watch the playoffs, check out what we're saying. Leave him in the corner by himself. Brick. Somebody running at him. Bang.
Yeah, but the Miami series is perfect because they always close out. They always close out. They always close out.
Yes.
Gabe Vincent, Strus, Butler, somebody's always closing out. You got to take the shots. I just
don't think the Knicks. I don't. And here's the strange thing, and I know we got to move on. Plus, I got to go in a minute. Here's the strange thing about the Knicks, guys. We don't have that many good perimeter shooters to begin with. I'm not saying Grimes is the next Jerry West, Steph Curry, but he is a good perimeter shooter on a team with limited perimeter shooting.
Right.
Why ain't he shooting more? I don't get that. I've been saying this for I don't know how long.
Yeah, that's kind of perplexing right there. I am not.
Yeah, I mean, think about this, guys. Tell me who the next best perimeter shooter is. Brunson?
Yep.
Maybe.
Quickly. Yeah. Quickly. Brunson.
Quickly. Close second.
Yep.
Maybe. And we all know what Quickly can do. Quickly will quickly shoot you in a game and quickly shoot you out of a game. But Grimes seems to be that pure shooter that, this guy can shoot. Like I always say, there's a lot of things you could teach. You can't teach shooting. When a guy can shoot, he can shoot. It's just that simple. Buddy Hield, pure shooter. That I look at Grimes that way, and then I look at the box scores, and he had 5 shots. I'm like, wow, that's kind of weird. RJ Barrett shot more threes than Grimes. That's kind of weird. I'm just saying, it just seems strange that you got this guy and everybody else is shooting more threes than him. And he's ending the game with 5-6 shots a night. I don't get it. Maybe they're thinking he's 23 years old, guys. He ain't like he's 19. He's 23 years old. He's no kid. Give him the damn ball. Again, it's not like you got a whole bunch of options.
You don't.
Jeez,
You don't.
I defy anybody to say that. It's like, no, if anybody should be shooting, it should be you. If anybody should be getting that shot, it should be you. Like if they want to double team Randall, you feed Randall in the post. You feed him in the post. And if they want to double team him, go right ahead. Thank you very much for the shot. So there should be no reason why if Brunson is feeding him, or if Grimes is feeding Randall in that post mid-range, that he's getting the double team has to come from the other side. Right. And now Miami is caught in a serial rotation because if it's coming from the other side, then the ball meets that person and then they got to close out. So it either goes back to Brunson or it goes back to Grimes. So somebody's going to be open. And it's just like, that's what Miami's doing. Like every single game. Like how many open shots or ball rotation shots does Strus get or Gabe Vincent get? Where they're like, the ball just moved faster and they can't close out quickly enough. And it's like, why aren't the Knicks doing the same thing? It's not rocket science. Like Eric Spoelstra is giving you the recipe to beat the Miami Heat. He's basically flaunting in your face how you can beat his team. It's like, okay, if they want to employ the zone, okay, Tibbs, you put a zone on them. Force them to shoot.
Right.
How many shooters do they have on their team?
Exactly.
Jimmy Butler don't even take 3-pointers. Jimmy Butler don't take threes.
No.
Bam Adebayo don't shoot threes. Their bigs don't shoot three. Kevin Love may shoot a 3, but
he'll shoot.
Kevin Love, I'm okay. I'm okay if he's.
You're all right with that.
I'm okay if he's going to beat us because it's like, yeah, he's got about 3 or 4 good shots in him, and then he's tired.
There's a reason, guys, without beating a dead horse. There is a reason that I think they were 27th in the NBA in 3-point percentage. There's a reason for that, guys. It ain't like the NBA just said you're 27. No, you can't shoot.
Right.
But you're leaving people open because your rotations are slow. Sooner or later, man, even a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Right.
They're gonna hit certain shots. That's our fault. That ain't them becoming the greatest shooting team in the Eastern Conference. No, that's our fault. We're not getting out there quick enough. But when you flip it to the other side, and you say to yourself, why aren't we getting those shots when they're doing the same thing we're doing? They're double teaming Randall, they're double teaming Brunson, we're double teaming Butler. The ball moves, the ball don't move with us, or the ball moves with us to another guy that goes ISO. Not a guy that's gonna pull up and shoot the shot. We go from one ISO player to another. Right. So there's Grimes standing in the corner saying, why am I here? Think about it. We have 3 ISO players on our team. There's Grimes waiting for the ball, saying, where's Bishop? Why ain't Bishop telling him what to do last week? 3 ISO ball players. That's really strange, guys, when you think of it. R.J. Barrett will put his head down, like Bishop says, knock him down. No, R.J. Barrett won't do that. R.J. Barrett to put his head down, know what the hell he's doing. But he's going to go to the basket. He might do some boneheaded shit. But we just do ISO ball, man. It's sad. Well, and again, ISO ball, lack of perimeter shooting, are we just playing with what we have? I don't know.
In regards to this series, to me, they're just beating themselves. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. They're beating themselves. You understand? Like you said, this series, it could have been over in 5, with the Knicks winning, but you're seeing just a lack of discipline with the ball. They sometimes get beat. They've been getting beat on the boards. I remember. Was it the game? It wasn't last night. The game before, where they had that ball. Miami had the ball for like 2.5 minutes in one sequence in that fourth quarter. Okay, of game 4, I believe. It was ridiculous.
With all the second chances.
Exactly. They had second, third, fourth chances. It was ridiculous. That whole sequence in that fourth quarter lasted at least 2 minutes. At least. You had ball possession.
I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, my contractor, I'm having kitchen work done, and my contractor had to drop on some things tonight. So we got talking. I just wanted to say I'm having a Dom root beer float moment. I left and you guys were talking about the Knicks' inability and inefficiency, and I feel like I came right back and it's the same thing. So I feel like I didn't miss
a commercial
anything.
break.
Yeah, I didn't miss anything.
You ain't miss anything.
But here's the weird thing to what Dave is saying on that possession, and it happened in that one game. But here's where sooner or later you are who you are, and it don't happen that often. The Knicks was second in rebound in the NBA this year. Right. So on a given night, probably 4 out of the 5 games we played this series, they've out-rebounded Miami. That hasn't been our problem. Our problem has been hitting shots. That's our problem. We can't hit shots. And again, we're missing quickly. So now you got to move everybody up one spot to see if you can get something that we missed with quickly. And to be honest, guys, I don't think we found it. I mean, since Quickly got hurt, Josh Hart has become worse. So I'm not using injuries as an excuse. I mean, Anthony Davis just caught a semi-concussion because somebody blew on his head. It happens. The NBA has injuries. I can't, give my Knicks an alibi, and other teams have injuries as well. Just it's kind of hard because one, the Knicks bench, other than the people that they had in this 9-man rotation, I think it's too late now to say let's pull Fournier, let's pull Derrick Rose. I think that ship may have sailed. You want to try that right now at this juncture? Some would say yeah.
I mean,
Say what you want about Fournier, he's probably still the best perimeter shooter on the Knicks.
he is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you got to worry. Then you got to worry about the defensive gap
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
you open up because he can't guard anybody. So now it's
But
like,
this
okay,
would be a great time to do it, Bishop, because you're playing a very inept offensive team to begin with. If
yeah,
there
well,
was
not if they're
ever a
open.
time, if there was ever a time to try this might have been it. Because you're
I'm saying,
playing a team that is not good offensively.
but
So
who would
even
you?
with Fournier's weak defense, he's going to give us more points than possibly Hart.
Hopefully,
I'm just saying,
hopefully,
this would have been a perfect storm for that. Again, they're 30th in scoring, guys, 28th in
Right.
field goal percentage, 26th
Right.
in 3-point percentage. It ain't like we was throwing Fournier out there against the Golden State Warriors. We're throwing him
Right.
out there against one of the most inept offensive teams in the damn NBA.
Right. Right.
But if he can give us 13, 14, give somebody a spell, like maybe Grimes, I'm not going to say it. Again, guys, to me, it's too late. That ship has sailed. But this would have been the perfect opportunity to me to do it against Miami. It ain't like you worried about checking a whole bunch of people on Miami. No, and especially on the perimeter. No, there's a reason their numbers what they are. I mean, granted they're missing Tyler Hero, but still, with Tyler Hero, guys, they was 30th and 28th in them numbers I just said.
But Dom, if you think about it, go back to Fournier for a quick second. If he's on the floor, even just for a little bit of time, maybe it keeps Miami's defense honest.
Yes.
In that regard, because there is at least the threat.
Right.
Even if he's a decoy.
Yep.
Yeah. But like you said, it may be too late in the series. But listen, you're at the point now where you're in must win, and they did the job last night. They've got two more, and I would hate to go into the off season thinking, well, we could have at least tried something.
Right.
Yeah. I think he's done. I don't know how. I think he got one more year on his contract.
Yeah, he's trade bait. He's trade bait.
Yeah.
He's got to be. He's got to be a part of something.
To be. Yeah. He has to be at this point.
He's trade bait.
It's ridiculous to have him just sitting there.
Right.
Yeah,
he has a movable contract, but your lack of playing him doesn't make Dave and R GMs of another team.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't got no warm and fuzzy. You're like, why ain't he playing?
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go. Yep.
Hell yeah. I think the only person that you could probably give some more time to is the young gun, McBride. Put him out there to give Brunson some spell Brunson. I mean, he's not gonna, for sure he ain't gonna make big mistakes defensively.
Right.
I'm not so certain about what he's gonna give us offensively.
Right.
But he'll hit his free throws, and he's not gonna make major mistakes. And even if he gets a foul, he's getting his money's worth. Right. So for those times when Kyle Lowry is out there, put him out there. Let him chase Kyle Lowry. Let him wrestle with Kyle Lowry a little bit. When Gabe Vincent is out there, and Brunson needs a spell, put him out there and let him wrestle with Gabe Vincent. Let him chase him around. You know what I'm saying?
That is his strong suit. He is a defensive player. We're not expecting him to go out there and knock down threes.
No.
But he's going to stay in somebody's ass.
Yeah.
As young as he is, I mean, he's a good defensive player.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and I'm for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out, like, when Miami goes on these spells like that game 4, where they in the fourth quarter where they kept getting rebounds and Mitchell Robinson is looking like he got on like cement shoes and can't seem to move his feet, can't seem to get to the spot as quickly as he was getting in the regular season. And it's like, why can't you call a timeout to break the other team's momentum?
That's been your thing now. I noticed that.
What I'm saying, most teams, like yesterday, yesterday's game, when the Knicks started going on their little mini run or whatever, supposed to say, no, time out.
Right.
Time out. Like we don't have to sit here and like the balls are bouncing their way, they're getting shots or whatever. Let's slow their momentum down. Let's break their momentum. It's like those are things that most coaches employ when the game is going south or when things are not, the ball is bouncing the other team's way. It's like little things like that, little nuanced things like that. And it's like, well, why you complaining that we're not getting rebounds? You could bring this to everybody's attention collectively. Guys, we need to get in there. We need to put a body on somebody. I watched that fourth quarter, and if you watch the series, there's times when the ball will bounce like right by RJ or right by Randall, and then Jimmy Butler will just run over and grab it.
I've seen that.
Or like Max Strus will just run, or Adebayo will just hustle more and get to it. And it's just like, okay, so this is not them being better. This is just them playing and wanting it more. That's all this is. That's all this is. And then when Randall made the comment, well, maybe they just want it more. That's the wrong comment coming from you,
right?
Who, throughout this whole series, we know what you're capable of. You decided that you wanted to pout and be in your feelings instead of play basketball.
Yeah.
And it's not like we don't know what this guy is capable of. We know what he's capable of. We know how he's played all season. Dom, the law of averages, this is how he's played all season. So why is this such a struggle for you to come up with your numbers? Why is this such a struggle?
Definitely. And this is a team you should be dominating. This is tailor-made for you.
Right.
You understand? So that, that much I know. I'm just like, wow, okay, you're not doing what you need to do. And like Bishop just said, yo, dude, get your head out your ass. Stop with the pouting. Stop with the whining. You know what I'm saying? Get that bullshit out of your head and just play your game. That's all you gotta do. It's really that simple. It's not complicated at all. So
I don't know. It just seems like it's like
what's frustrating is like Jimmy Butler and them. They know that Randall is a problem, but Randall isn't playing like he's making it easy for them. So that's frustrating when the other team is working out schemes to defend you because they know that you're one of the focal points, and then you're not living up to your end, and you're letting them off the hook. He should be giving them more trouble in those games that we lost. A couple of games, but throughout the series, he's not been that big of a problem for them.
No, Bam just gets in his head, or like pushes him, or gets Jimmy Butler will get a little extra physical, and then he'll go to the referees. It's like, dude, like the quarter is over. Like, why are you standing by the referees?
And that's and you're right. You're right.
The quarter's over.
It's frustrating. I hate seeing these, because Randall is not a little guy.
No,
play like a big guy. Play, enforce your way, and that's even one of the knocks that a lot of people have, even on somebody like LeBron. Not comparing the two, but when they see the size and your ability to dominate, Randall's case, and you let guys get in your head, and you become emotional, and run into the refs to bail you out. They're not going to bail you out.
No,
just play ball.
Exactly.
They're
gonna look at you. They're gonna look at him like he's a clown or something. Like,
right. To go back to our earlier, Dom and I getting people off of our lawn, but the '90s Knicks, those guys, they were big and they flexed their muscle. Even the smaller ones, flex, and you weren't constantly running because listen, the refs, they're human too, and they look at a guy, oh, this guy's complaining again, that kind of thing. They're supposed to be impartial, but they got to feel a certain type of way. Probably want to tell them, just get your ass out there and play ball too.
Yeah, like I said, what really pissed me off is like, so Kyle Lowry, all of a sudden, you can't drive to the basket because Kyle Lowry is going to be standing there taking a screen. It's like, at some point you got to say, okay, all right, you're gonna stand there and take it. That's cool. I'm gonna give it to you.
Yeah, right,
I'm
right.
gonna give you, and you're gonna earn this one. You're gonna earn this one.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you may take a charge to send a message.
Right.
You know, say, you know, maybe you might want to rethink how you defend
Exactly.
me. You
Exactly.
know,
Mm-hmm. You got that right. Well, let's should we talk about some other games?
sure, why not?
There was one tonight. It's still in the Eastern Conference. There was Boston against
Philly.
Philadelphia. That I think that's still going on, if I'm not mistaken. And right now, almost at the end of the third, well, it is at the end of the third. It's a very close game. Phillies ahead 73-71. I know Boston had a kind of like a double-digit lead earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, you know what I I was looking at some stuff online, and they were saying how is this real that Philly can actually win this title? I want to know what your guys' thoughts was. I obviously am not a fan of Doc Rivers. Sorry for those that are listening and probably support him, but I will say this. I will say this. The beard is doing his thing. You know, I don't really see too many disappearing acts from him in this series, unless you guys straighten me out. But
No, he's balling.
he's balling, right?
He's
Yeah.
I can say this: if Philly does make it to the NBA Finals, they're not going to win because they're going to follow the lead of the Phillies and the Eagles.
Okay. So you think there's some type of curse going there, huh?
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, man. And I will support and thank you, brother. My man. Like, who is this? One of the Facebook users says he doesn't trust Doc. And yeah,
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Doc hasn't been Doc yet. We
Yeah.
haven't seen that West Coast Doc yet.
That might be our brother Ish. What's up, Ish? Thanks for joining us tonight, checking us out. Appreciate that. You know, yeah, Doc. No, I don't think. No, absolutely not. So that's one reason why I agree with you. They're not going to win. Period.
Well, yeah, it's tough to say because
Why?
when everybody was in game 3 of the series, everybody was basically giving Boston the go ahead and saying, okay, well, now that when Milwaukee had lost, everybody was kind of like, oh, now this is Boston's to lose.
This is Boston, right?
This is Boston's to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watch the series, it's like the only thing that Philly is like missing is like on any given night, Tobias Harris just being Tobias Harris. He doesn't have to be a superstar, but they have enough offense. They have enough offense that if Tobias Harris is Tobias Harris, they're gonna shine.
Right.
They're gonna shine.
Yeah.
And it's real hard to to dismiss the fact that these guys are balling. The thing that they said James Harden wouldn't be able to do, he's doing. So it's not like these guys are playing beneath themselves or anything. Joel Embiid is, when he makes up his mind, he's pretty unstoppable. So, and James Harden, you don't need him to drop 40, but he's coming in and he's whoever they put in front of him, he's kind of like, okay, well, I'm out of shape and I may be a step or two too slow, but none of you guys can guard me.
Yeah.
None of you guys can guard me.
Okay. Well, he's doing his thing tonight. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not point wise, but he's doing a little bit of everything. He's got like 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists. That's what he's doing right now.
What the Maxi got?
Maxi has 21, 5, and 3.
Yeah, so you get that balance, and then Joel Embiid is, so you get that balance.
Well, he's got, you know, Maxi's got 21, and Embiid's got 20 so far. So, yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then you
You
just
know?
have Harden come in to be the closer
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
everything is said and done. It's like, okay, well, switch off. They want to let Al Horford be out here. Okay.
Right.
They want
Right.
to let Marcus Smart be out here and guard me. No
Right.
problem. No problem.
Our brother Ish says Harden falls under playoff pressure also. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a well-known fact. Come on, we can't, disappearing acts. We all know that joke.
Yeah.
Instead of Wesley Snipes being on the poster in the trailer, you got James Harden there. So we all know that. You know what I'm saying? But well, maybe this time can be different. Who knows? Who knows? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, he's doing what he has to do, and I think
Mhm.
Philly can definitely win this series. It's just all a matter of when he decides to disappear.
Mhm.
Or is this the year that he
Well,
balls all the way through?
let's say Philly advances to the next round and they take on either
The
Miami
Knicks,
or the Knicks,
yeah.
right? Either one. Can either one of them stop Philly? Is it realistic?
Well, when you get to that point, I think that anything can happen. They have a fighter's chance.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on which of those teams shows up.
Hmm.
And what I mean is, which version of those teams.
Yeah, which version?
Right.
Well, in regard, like in regards, I don't think it'll end well if it's Miami. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, that's a tough one for me. I don't even think it holds up well against the Knicks because again, there's that factor of which team is going to come out.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, are we going to see RJ with the usual bonehead shit? Are we going to see Randall and his feelings? You know what I'm saying? So it all depends.
I think if you look at what we're seeing
Mm-hmm.
from Philly, the first round, what did they sweep?
I believe so. Yeah.
And then this round they are giving Boston. I think it's even though Boston is the higher seed, they're giving Boston everything, and they're quite capable of showing all their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So we have not seen the bad Philly, in the playoffs.
No, we haven't.
So next round,
Mm-hmm.
what happens if that Philly shows up, or if Doc enters the chat?
Right. Well, then it could go the other way easily.
Yeah. So that's the thing. This playoffs has been very interesting for the reasons of the surprises. Milwaukee going out. What's happening with Phoenix and so it's not necessarily a given that things are going to play out the way we thought.
For sure.
There could be some more surprises in there. It's been interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I have to agree.
I don't know which one which matchup the NBA has scripted. But as far as TV ratings, but this has definitely been good.
What strikes me as a little curious too is like, why isn't anybody fouling Joker, or why isn't anybody like realizing, hey, this guy's bringing the ball up. He's about 60 feet away from the basket. Why we just allowing him to casually stroll up the court with the basketball as a 7-footer? Why isn't anybody like putting any pressure on him?
Yeah.
Why are we allowing him to get into his groove, or when they're in the half court set, I'm getting a foul anyway. I'm going to get the foul anyway. Why am I not earning it? Why am I not earning it? Why is he not getting up off the floor each time?
Yeah.
True that.
It's a basketball play. Why is he not getting up off the floor, or why isn't somebody coming over as he's dribbling? Yeah, he's a great passer. He sees the court, whatever. That's fine, but he still's got knees.
Yeah.
Why isn't there like he's it's like you ever watch a fight where one fighter is like looking like a alley cat, a dirty alley cat with like missing whiskers,
Yeah.
the tail is half eaten off
Yeah.
of, like one of his ears is missing.
Right.
He's, he only got whiskers on one side of his face, and then you look at the other fighter, and he's just like wow, like I just woke up, you know what I'm saying? They're shining his face off, and that's what I feel like the Joker is like he hasn't been touched, he hasn't been. It's like what are we doing here? Are you guys playing for real, or you just? And it's like, okay, he doesn't play defense. Why aren't you allowing your big man to go at him? He has no interest in playing defense, and it was crazy to me. Like today, they made this whole big thing about Mark Jackson not having Joker on his top 5 players or whatever, and it's just like, so you're gonna bully someone to feel the same way or view things the same way that you view them, and because he's trying to get back into coaching, he basically he danced. He called in and he danced and said, "Oh, you know what? I did make a mistake. I apologize." And blah blah blah. It's like, since when are we basically glorifying a play that doesn't play on both sides of the ball?
Right.
Yeah.
So if Embiid doesn't play defense, and say, "Oh, well, he's great offensively, but he has weaknesses on defense. You can't depend on him to protect the paint. You can't depend on him to do this. You can't depend on him to do that."
Right.
And then you have on the West Coast this guy, 2-time MVP, who hasn't particularly done anything. Doesn't have any championships. Doesn't have any Western Conference Finals under his belt. He's got 2 MVPs, and there's always excuses being made. Okay, well, he didn't have this person. He didn't have that person. He didn't have this person. Giannis didn't have anybody, and he figured it out. LeBron didn't have anybody. He figured it out. So why is it all of a sudden now? And these guys, they've been, when LeBron was in his prime, it's like, hey, he's got to play on both sides of the ball. He's got to be the guy on both sides of the ball. Giannis, he's got to be the guy on both sides of the ball. And I'm still trying to figure out how he got 2 MVPs back to back, but that's another story.
Right.
That's another story. But
For sure.
again, it's like that series is so strange to me because it's just like everybody standing around watching the Joker show, and nobody's saying, okay, well, you know what? He puts his pants on one leg at a time. Let's make him earn it. So by this 6th game or whatever it is, like everybody's beat up.
Right.
Everybody's sore. Everybody's feeling it. It's like, and it's just not happening. It's like crazy to me.
Yeah, I think I just saw that Ayton is going to be out.
He is out for Game 6. He is out.
His ego is bruised because everybody's talking about how Joker is outplaying them, and it's like your team's offense is not geared that way.
Yeah.
But it's like when you do get the ball, when you do get your opportunities, you're faster than him. You can dribble a ball, you can take him off the dribble, and you don't do any of those things. You just stand there and allow him to use you as a human dummy. And it's like, and you're mad at everybody else because when you get the rebound, you don't dunk it on them. Or when when you have your opportunities, limited opportunities, and rightfully so. It's kind of like if you got KD and Booker, 2 premier scorers, guess who's probably going to get most of the shots?
Those 2. That's it.
And rightfully so.
Rightfully
both
so.
those guys shoot phenomenal percentages. And you should be okay with that. You should be the guy cleaning up all of the stuff. Like if there's a miss, I'm getting to that rebound. He's not getting that rebound. I'm getting to that rebound because I'm faster than him. I'm younger and I'm faster than him.
Right.
So I'm going to get to those rebounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is true.
But it's a really weird series. I hope Boston loses, actually.
I do too.
I hope Boston loses because I didn't like the fact that, whatever Udoka did, that's fine. And even if they didn't want him back, that's fine too. I'm good with that. But to jump like a dog in heat, like to jump on it and be like, oh, well, before you even, so you gave everybody, the lip service, oh, he's going to be away from the team, yada yada yada.
Mm.
You had already made your decision.
Right.
Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
already made your decision, and then you jumped on it and hired this guy. And yeah, maybe Brad Stevens said, "I'm going to be the de facto
Mm-hmm.
the GM and the de facto coach for a group that doesn't really need too much guidance."
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know, but it was like it wasn't the right move. Just put it that way.
Right.
It wasn't the right move for them, and they can say whatever they want, but it's kind of like, yeah, those guys are being respectful and whatever, but as a assistant coach, what's he going to tell Tatum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
I was at the top of the ladder before you got to this head coaching spot, and you were the guy that we sounded stuff off, or we like, yo, Udoka, you were that guy. You were the guy that we vented to.
mhm.
Now all of a sudden you're the head coach.
Mhm.
Yeah, all right.
Exactly. Mm.
That's a good point.
Yes. And speaking of Boston, I saw something. They were saying how this is I think their window of opportunity is closing.
To me, they were popping them on a pedestal when
Right.
they made it to the finals. That was an overachievement on their part.
Right.
It wasn't
Yeah.
something that they basically just like, okay, well, we're that good.
Mm-hmm.
They overachieved.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see a point in that.
Yeah, I can too.
Yeah. But they're
They were not ready for Golden State. It's like
No.
they were not ready for Golden State. It's like Marcus Smart won a Defensive Player of the Year, and
Mhm.
Steph Curry was like, "Yo, clear it out." Steph never does that.
Yeah.
Steph never does that. He never
Yeah.
does that, and it was so
Right.
bad. It was so bad. He politicked, got Defensive Player of the Year,
Mhm.
and I've never seen him relinquish to a screen so quickly. It was just like, like he wanted no parts of Steph Curry. It's like,
Mm.
coming to set a screen, Al Horford. Oh, he's your man now, Al Horford.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And Marcus Smart is notorious for being the guy that he'll blow a screen up, run through a screen, get the offensive foul because he wants to send a message. Don't come set a screen over here.
Right.
And it's just like, so
Mhm.
now whoever comes and sets the screen, you just dying in that screen so that you can get the switch, so that you don't have to guard this guy.
Wow.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Like that was the first time that I saw it, and it's like quiet as kept. It's like Steph Curry is not like he's ultra competitive.
Oh, very much so.
Ultra
Exactly.
competitive, and it was just like, okay, well, this is the best defender in the league. Okay, no problem.
Mhm.
Let me show you something.
Right.
Yeah.
It took him a game or two
Mhm.
to get accustomed to the physicality because they were allowing Marcus
Mhm.
Smart to touch him.
Right.
But then after he got accustomed to it, it was just like, yeah, you just like everybody else.
Right.
Hold that.
Exactly. Oh man.
That's
What
crazy.
about this? Let's talk about this last series in the West with the Lakers and Steph Curry and the Warriors.
Yeah, they're done. They fought. They fought.
Mhm.
You got to tip your hat. You got to tip your hat to the Warriors. I don't think that they win this next game in LA. I think LA closes them out, and then if Denver finishes Phoenix off, and then they have to play the Lakers, I'd really like to see LeBron James get back to the championship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd
Right.
really like to see him get back to the championship, and then all of the folks, who've been, saying, "Oh, Joker's the best big man," this and that.
Mhm.
Let's see what happens when he actually has to guard somebody.
Right.
When somebody
Mhm.
can actually like guard him as well. Let's see what happens when. Okay, well, AD, he can stay in front of you. He's quick enough and he's long enough. But now you also have to contend with LeBron coming over to help out, because we got enough younger players now that if LeBron is not in perfect defensive position, or the other kid, Alexander or whatever, the other forward, we can have somebody come over to like double team and make it a little bit more challenging for you. Let's see what happens then.
Now I can agree with this. Oh man, it says Lakers go as far as Davis takes them. I kind of agree with that because I'm one to believe, and I hate to even say this, but LeBron is up there. Yes, he's up there, and for all the greatness that he's played this season, I think it's starting to take effect.
Yeah, mileage,
Mm-hmm.
mileage,
Exactly,
mileage. He can give
exactly.
you, 30, but it's got to
Mm-hmm.
be
Mm-hmm.
every other night.
Yeah.
Or the fact that he's a threat out there.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he's a threat. It's
Mm-hmm.
like when you need those baskets, it's like he's a threat. He can put his head down, go to the basket,
Right,
bulldoze his way through.
for sure.
And he's still getting up and down on that fast break. He's
Oh,
still
there's
filling
no
them
question.
lanes. He's still
Mm-hmm.
filling those lanes. And it's like, yo, you stand there if you want to. He's
Right,
still
Oh yeah,
filling them lanes up.
yeah,
right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know what? Whatever happens, I think that for all those that are trying to make it about Steph versus LeBron, LeBron has solidified his legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and this is not should not define him. Even though there are those that want to still try to
Mm-hmm.
define who LeBron is on that Mount Rushmore,
Right.
but he has earned the right to have his legacy speak for itself and not be defined by one series anymore.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Now this is a fact right here. Steph needs Wiggins and Clay to step up next game.
Mm.
This is a fact. I'd have to
Yeah.
agree with that. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely, especially in regards to Clay. You know.
Yeah. I don't know what you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna get from Wiggins, but I thought that's what they paid Poole all that money for. Now you
Mm-hmm.
realize.
Mm.
Now you realize it's like, yeah, we may have jumped the gun on this
Yeah,
situation
he ain't
because
been the same since Draymond knocked him out.
nah, no, the Sacramento series kind of like it's like when somebody is gonna be out there on the court and get up in him
Mm-hmm.
and not allow him to just float around and do all
Mm-hmm.
of that stuff, he's pretty much ineffective.
Mm.
Hmm.
And I think what has happened is the other teams have seen, okay, well, we just don't allow him that space and that
Mm-hmm.
room to like dribble around and do all of this other fancy, stuff. We just don't allow him the space to do that.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
quiet as kept, it's like he's not really like a big guy, so he can't really take the physical the
No, he's
physical
not.
contact.
No,
He
he's
can't
not.
really take the physical contact. He's not like the tough guy,
yeah.
Right.
and he makes some really bad decisions sometimes. He makes some really
Right.
bad decisions sometimes. It's like, dude, did you actually think that pass was going to get through
Hmm.
at this stage of the season? Did you actually think that pass was going to get through?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, okay,
Draymond.
so you're going to look off Steph to take your shot.
Right. He says Draymond needs to slap him again. And the reason why is for robbing Golden State.
Yeah.
No, you took the money that should be coming to me. Some
Mm-hmm.
of that money that should be coming to me,
Mm-hmm.
they gave it to you, and now they realizing that they overpaid because this dude is like,
Right.
yeah, this dude is not. He's not who they thought he was.
Mm.
And maybe
Exactly.
he might get there, but he ain't there now.
Not now. No. I
As
agree.
long as Steph is there, it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's only gonna be one Steph, and it's just like, dude, some way you veered off because at one point he was like a whenever Steph was off the court, it was kind of like, okay, well, you put him in the game and he'll spell for you got another shooter, another knockdown shooter. But then at some point he decided that, nah, you know what? I'm gonna be Kyrie and Steph together.
Mm.
So I'm gonna put the ball on the floor behind my back, between my legs, the hezzy, the in and out, the back and I'm gonna do all of that stuff before I take the shot.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he dribbles a lot. For
Right.
Golden State offense, he pounds that ball a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Can't
like
have
some
that.
of those moves. It's like,
Right.
yeah, that
Well,
wasn't the best shot that they could have got.
no. That's very apparent. You know what I'm saying? Very apparent.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Well, gentlemen, let's do some moving on, shall we? I think I'll probably make this the last one. I won't get to the social media thing tonight. However, I will get to this. The lack of finance, or is there a lack of financial literacy in minority/black communities.
So what prompted this question?
You know what? Actually, I was talking to some coworkers about this, and as it relates, there's this thing. What is this called? Bishop, you're in finance, I believe. I think it's called PFIN, like personal finance. And
yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying how it relates to like neighbors and communities, as far as a lack of understanding it, and will definitely lead to the detriment of your community being in poverty, so to speak. There's so many different varying factors about it, and man. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just reading this commentary real quick. My guy says, "Hell no! Look at the drug dealers." Well, I'm saying, even with them, I'm just saying, yeah, you have cash on hand. I get that. Whatever. I don't know how the whole thing works with drug dealing, the way they keep their money and all that stuff.
The 401ks.
That may be. I have no idea. I'm just saying. We need to definitely learn and be better financially with our financial matters, whatnot. The stock market, people don't want to throw their money in that, non-trusting, or they don't have enough money. But it's about just saving.
Yeah, I think that black people historically have had a different relationship with money than other groups, and whether it was disparity of income to a lack of trust, for financial institutions. For years, we had our elders who didn't trust the banks and would the money in the mattress thing, or
Right.
We had other ways. So it's not that I don't think that I'm just speaking for African Americans, even though we are talking about all minorities, but
Right.
I think that there was always that element of that someone is going to take our money, and I think back of even some of the my grandmother. Uh, I think my mother had told the story of how she had put so much money into life insurance with oh gosh, I forget which company it was, and for years, and my mother saw her putting that money in there, and then when she passed, they acted like they didn't know that she had a claim, had a account with them,
A
and it was
policy.
such a policy. Thank you, and it was such a battle, and so um, a lot of times minority communities are preyed upon by these very same institutions, and that gets passed down generationally.
Okay.
Well, to me, you have to you got to look at it like in minority communities, it's not about financial literacy if your focus is on Maslow's hierarchy of needs: food, clothing, shelter. You don't have disposable income to invest in anything, because the money that you are making, you're using it to survive, to sustain your life, to survive, to eat. So you don't, the literacy part of it, you don't, that literacy, financial literacy, to me means that you have some income that you can pretty much use to make money. And you don't, if you don't have that, then it never becomes a priority for you. It never becomes an issue for you, because your life is about something else. It's about just existing, maintaining existence.
Well, that's true. That is true. But I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, but there's budgeting. There is budgeting. You can actually. Nobody's saying you have to make a $10,000 investment, but you can budget and save. So while I hear what you're saying about survival, I get it. But at the same time, I'm like, there's got to be something. Even if it's $10, whatever the case may be, save it up. Save it up.
Well, I think see, I tend to agree with Bishop.
Okay.
Because I think that is a combination of things. I think it's partially what I said and also what Bishop said, because the saving aspect, when you don't, we have to look at, well, what am I not going to be able, what can I live without in order to put this aside? And so rent, I gotta have that, food, certain things that are non-negotiable. And so that, along with the fact that people felt that their money wasn't safe, putting it into these institutions, it's like what we couldn't afford to lose. Whereas some other groups, if you're talking about stocks or certain things like that, they have income that they may feel that, okay, well, I can't afford to put that away or lose it if its stock market goes a different direction. Whereas we're looking at it like, I can't really afford to lose that. But I think what happens is that then it gets passed down generationally. So then the mistrust, how if you look at traditions, that a lot of times people do, but they don't know why they do it, but they just become traditions. I think for a lot of us, there are things that we believe that we don't even know why, whereas at one time they might have been a very valid reason why we have these beliefs. And then it gets to a certain point, in today's generation, maybe that we follow some of those beliefs without even knowing why. So we, I think that we're doing a lot better.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Now, as far as a better understanding, I think social media has, one of the positives is that you can learn a lot of things and
Yes.
hear a lot more, and people who are doing things that look like you, as opposed to, when we were growing up, we didn't see a lot of people who looked like us talking about
Right.
literacy, financial literacy. So we get to see a lot more of that. I'm finding that a lot of young people have a better understanding of money. This money is something that I had to learn about, um, along the way. I sort of had to
And where
do
did you learn?
mistakes.
And where did you learn it? Because
I
when we were
learned
growing
it.
up, we didn't get it in
I
school.
learned it from mistakes in my 20s.
Okay. Okay.
You know, I in my 20s I didn't understand credit. I
Right.
didn't understand the importance of having good credit.
Right.
When I started one of my first jobs, I worked at Macy's, 34th Street, and in order to get your employee discount, they gave you a credit card,
Yes, they did.
Macy's credit card, which to me, even though it wasn't a whole lot, it just,
Right.
oh, that's free money.
Right.
I'm 19 years old. You gave me a credit card.
Right.
And then you learn down the road that, not only do you have to pay them back, but, if you don't pay them back in a timely fashion, there are different things that impact your credit score. Um, so I learned a lot of those things the hard way.
Right.
Our parents might have said, save your money, but you're thinking about, well, why? Because next week I get another check. That kind of thing. And we weren't making a whole lot, so you wanted to, have a good time with your check. You blow your check,
Right.
But so a lot of lessons are learned the hard way. But for me, these are things that, especially about credit, it took me a long time to understand the importance and how to use credit.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things too I didn't mention. Like when you say financial literacy, kind of like, okay, well, is it also understanding that we had to patronize each other's businesses to keep the money in that circle,
Yeah.
keep the money in the circle that it's supposed to be in?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's times where we, as people of color, we tend to move away from supporting the businesses that we should be supporting in our
Absolutely.
communities.
This
So
is
it's like,
true.
is that financial literacy and understanding? Okay, well, I need to keep the money in the community and the businesses that are going to reinvest in the community,
Hmm.
and um, we need to, like, if we see a need, say, okay, well, instead of having the Italian, the Chinese, or whoever else come into our community
Mm-hmm.
and take money out, let's fulfill that need. Let's fulfill that need ourselves because there's a need. So,
Right.
like dry cleaning, for example,
Mm-hmm.
go to the dry cleaners in the hood. Dry cleaners would always be like Chinese.
Right.
So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, you got a black dry cleaners, support
Mm-hmm.
them,
Right. Right.
Hmm.
support them,
Well.
and
Mm-hmm.
or like if you have a restaurant, soul food restaurant, instead of going to the Chinese food restaurant with them giving you, the recycled oil food or whatever, support the black owned business, support the black
Mm-hmm.
restaurant,
You
so
know
that
what? Can I throw something in real quick, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
okay, man.
Please.
Okay. Now you just mentioned about keeping the money in the community, and I'm all for that. However, I've had this happen. I try to go support the black businesses,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes their prices are a little too high. They're higher than the white or the Italian or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever group. But I try to support, and if stuff is a bit higher than what I feel, then I feel what I should pay.
So
Even
let
though
me.
I,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I agree with that. R. I wonder. That I don't know much about it, but maybe there are some
Mhm.
factors about it. Maybe the business loan that they got,
Right. Maybe
the
could be
higher
the rent, could be
interest
the rent,
rates,
whatever
all
the
yeah,
case may be. Right. I
all of
get it.
those things.
Mhm.
So those factors. One thing also though that I do have to say, and I
Mhm.
thought maybe you were going that direction as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes our own people, our customer service needs some work.
There's that too.
And how many times you go to
Hmm.
you try to support, oh, there's a new
Mhm.
soul food restaurant, something like
Right.
that, and then they don't open on time. You don't know,
Mhm.
if they say they're open on Tuesdays, but
Hmm.
they get there when they get there, and
Mhm.
it's that kind of thing too. um I think on both sides we've got to do a better job.
I agree.
We've got to do a better job as consumers, patronizing
Mhm.
our own, but then also as business owners, we've got to make sure that um, the bar, we set the bar high,
Mhm.
and not coming in and say, well, I'm black, so you patronize me, but you're giving, you know,
Mhm.
Substandard service.
Yeah. Substandard service.
Yeah, it's I think it's there's financial illiteracy on the business owner side as well. So I may
Mhm.
have a dream or a vision that I want
Mhm.
to have a business in the community, and I want to help people out that look like me, but because I
Mhm.
don't have the literacy, financial literacy, I don't possess the discipline
Yeah. Well,
to.
like there's things like poor spending decisions. You know what I'm saying? Or the lack of long term preparation. All that stuff could lead to like they were saying, poor credit, bankruptcy. You know what I'm saying? or other, negative consequences. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword in a way.
Yeah, yeah. But
Mhm.
it's a vicious cycle in the sense that
Right.
if you haven't, you guys mentioned something like now it's a lot more palatable
Mhm.
for people of color to have businesses, people of color to be in to have successful businesses,
Mhm.
for that to be like accessible for you to see, so
Mhm.
you can envision. Okay, well, it can be done. It's
It
not
can't.
something
Right. Right.
that's out of the realm of possibility. It's not like I'm thinking I'm thinking beyond what can be accomplished. No, it can be accomplished because it
Mhm.
has been.
You have
So there's
examples out there.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's plenty
Right.
of examples where if you have a vision and you have business savvy and also possess discipline, why
Mhm.
you can achieve those things as well. So prior to that, we were focusing on just being able to survive,
Mhm.
just being able to keep a roof over our head, and,
Mhm.
and and food in our stomachs and clothes on our back. So it wasn't
Mhm.
like, and then too, it's like the path of least resistance too. It's like if you take a look at it wasn't like education.
Mhm.
There wasn't a push for advanced education. It was kind of like, okay, well, you get out of high school and
Mhm.
this is what you do.
Mhm.
Get a
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Now there's been a push for advanced education, and not just for women. It's advanced education across the board. Now
Mhm.
some of us buy into this, like the more ignorant, the more you down, the stupider you are, the cooler you are, or whatever. But then there's whole a whole demographic of people that look like us that are like,
Mhm.
we need this advanced education if we want to be relevant in the next century.
Mhm.
We need to be making a push for this advanced education, because a lot of the doing jobs are going to be going away,
Mhm.
and you're going to have more analytical. You're going to have
Mhm.
things that, or you're going to have to think outside the box if you want to be able to survive
Right.
in a society where, you think about it, they are using robotics, and
Mhm.
Amazon started it,
Yeah.
where they're
Mhm.
using the robotics to replace human beings and picking and
Yeah.
packing orders, shipping
Yeah.
orders, and so forth.
Yeah.
They
Exactly.
started using the AI during the pandemic when it came to like taking takeout orders, phone orders, and
Mhm.
restaurants, and a lot of companies are using like the internet to conduct business, so you don't need headcount for that.
Yeah.
And pretty soon, um, with this chat bot and all this other stuff,
Oh.
a lot of those, a lot of like the other types of positions are going to be going away, because they're going to be using AI to fulfill those roles.
Yep.
So it's kind of like the advanced education plays a role in that as well, financial literacy, because you can
Mhm.
start to see, um, a lot of the times people think like money is just to be spent. So money is, there's a few components that money should be used for.
Mhm.
Yes, obviously to get the things that you need,
Mhm.
but also um, to attain wealth,
Mhm.
and it takes money to make money.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing with the advanced education, that you have to be mindful of too is the rising cost of these educations. And so many people, are in debt. I work with a lot of young teachers,
Mhm.
and the salaries that they're making, as compared to the debt that they've accumulated to get to the point that they can be a teacher. That you're looking at not just the undergrad but grad school,
Mhm.
and some of these costs are ridiculous. And then
Mhm.
in a city like New York,
Mhm.
where okay, now you've done this, you've done all of the academic part to put yourself in a position, and you land the job. Now where are you going to live? you know, a lot of them had to, you know, have roommates, and
Yes.
they have to do extensive what we call per session, which is like overtime, and other opportunities, you know, teaching night school, things
Okay.
just to pay their bill, and then now we're back at that survival mode.
Right.
You,
Right.
you, you know, and God forbid if they want to have a car in New York, or you know, whatever the case is, it's just not designed favorably for young people coming out of college now. Whereas many years ago, you know, when our parents were young, they had you didn't have to have all of the you didn't have to go into debt with school in
Mhm.
order to be able to buy a home and raise a family and all of those things.
Right.
So the higher cost of education, because you know at one time in the 70s, post Vietnam War, CUNY was free.
Hmm.
You know, City University of New York was free,
Hmm.
and a lot of people got their degrees because of that.
Right.
So I think there's always been the desire, but they're looking at now, is it cost effective?
Hmm.
You know, and the salaries aren't matching, you know,
No.
how inflation and everything is going. So it's really it asks the question, especially if I look at the question that you asked,
Hmm.
financial literacy and
Hmm.
minority communities. Well, let's define those communities. Where are they now? What do they look like now? You and I are. We grew up in Hollis. Hollis has
Right.
changed a lot.
A lot. A hell of a lot.
When our parents moved to
Hmm.
Hollis, you know, it was predominantly African American,
Yes, it was.
and you know, you might get a few Caribbean,
Hmm.
um, but for the most part now,
Hmm.
even Hollis itself has
Hmm.
there's a lot of India,
Gaia.
Guyanese,
Yeah.
yeah, throughout. Now you have. We're not talking about a minority community that is African American. We're talking about a almost like a United Nations type of. So
For sure.
it is a uh, an influx of a lot of
Hmm.
different cultures that
Hmm.
make up these minority communities, and
Right.
each one comes with their own pros and cons as far
Hmm.
as their ability to make their way in America, and they don't necessarily work together.
Hmm.
So th- we are similar in the fact that we are minority,
Hmm.
but we are not the same minority.
No.
So a lot of times we
No.
don't view each other as
Hmm.
partners in building and strengthening these communities.
Hmm.
We our diversity we don't use as a plus. We use it as almost a separator within the
Hmm.
community. So now that makes us vulnerable.
Hmm. You know, you had mentioned about the internet and this new age and the younger generation. They tend to like really gravitate towards entrepreneurship. One thing I notice being online, especially with dealing with stocks, and I see these. I'll just say this particular these particular young men's name. Their group is called Earn Your Leisure. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. EYL.
That sounds familiar. I
Yeah,
couldn't
now
tell you.
now these brothers on YouTube, they're together. When I say that they got their shit together, they really do, and they want to do shit for the culture and whatnot.
Mhm.
You know, to kind of just like step away, you know, from the everyday 9 to 5. You
Right.
understand, and build your own financial empire through stocks and learning and studying and
Mhm.
engaging. You understand, and making sound decisions financially to grow your money. You
Yes.
understand?
Yeah.
I respect that. Um, like I said, times change throughout the years. Obviously, Dave, you just gave an example when you talk about our parents and how they grew up and how they bought their houses and all that good stuff. But now
Yeah.
we're in an age right now where we have to adapt. You understand? We have to
Yes.
take on the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? That's it's really at our fingertips. We just have to choose to want to use it and view it and learn it.
Absolutely.
You understand? If you're not going to do it, if you're going to sit back and hope that it comes to you, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
No.
You understand?
No.
I work at a corporate law firm. You understand? And I know lawyers that have to room together to live in Manhattan.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just it's crazy. The ball really is in our hand, in our court. You understand? To make these moves, we have to want to do it.
Yeah.
You understand? I know I had said something earlier about $5 or $10. Let me tell you something. I know people that have been on welfare. Okay, welfare, and have grown, and not saying they're millionaires now, but they're financially well off.
Yeah.
You understand? By taking these little steps.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Welfare doesn't give a lot of cash.
No, not at
You
all.
understand? And if you have more money in your bank account than I have in mine, I'm like, well, what? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it can be done.
It can be done. Absolutely it can be done. And I think that a lot of the fear and stigma about saving and the financial institutions, I think that we are fortunately moving past that, have gotten past that, it left that in our parents' generation. But like I said earlier, also the benefit of having so much information at our fingertips.
Right. Exactly.
It takes some of the uncertainty and scariness away from it. And I find that these younger generations, my son's generation, the millennials and so forth, they are more aggressive about their finances. One reason might be because us as their parents don't have anything. So it's like I don't have unfortunately I don't have that legacy that I can leave for my son. So
we would love to.
You would love to, but also because but also as things have become technology and finance are one now.
Right.
There's they're from the Bitcoin and the digital age and all these different things.
Exactly.
That's right up their alley because they are closely connected to that digital age that we aren't per se. So they tell us, they teach us.
Yes.
My son, here's another stock. Here's something else.
Exactly.
And if you put this amount in it, if this hits this number, all these different things and things that would have been like scared me years ago.
I think that's the thing that we have to learn not to be scared in these matters. You understand? We have to want to take charge. You understand? And just forge ahead.
Right.
We can't be nervous. We can't be scared. We have to take chances.
Yeah.
You understand? Because being in the status quo that we're in, it's not doing us any good.
No.
It's not doing us any good whatsoever.
And this is where we can learn from, the younger generation.
For sure. Big time.
Because I tell you, I work with them. They're not afraid.
No, they're
not. Not when it comes to these things.
No, they're not. Exactly. And to tell you the honest truth, in the long run, as long as they're not being scared or frightful, whatever the case may be, they're going to be better in the long run. They're going to be better.
Absolutely.
Much better in the long run.
Absolutely. And they learn from our mistakes and lack of knowledge and
exactly.
Now, like I said, knowledge is anything you want to learn about. It's so funny. I think about a few years ago, when YouTube first became prominent, kids use YouTube to learn math equations and study, formulas and things like that, things that I hadn't even considered because you and I, we're from the era of pick up a book.
Right.
We didn't even have the computers when we were their age.
No.
These kids learned that, well, if they didn't understand something in class, They can go to YouTube. There's a thing called Khan Academy. All these different things that they so technology is interwoven with everything that they do.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Well, like I said, so we one thing I'll definitely leave with is that people, I don't even care if you're past my age. I'm 59. You could always do better. You could always do better. And information is out there. Take advantage of it. Is it going to be easy? No, it's not. Is it going to be frustrating for you at first? Yes, it will. But it will benefit you.
It'll be worth it. Yeah.
It'll be worth it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not guaranteeing you're going to be a millionaire or anything like that. Yeah. But as long as you have a grip on finances and understanding money and how it works, you'll be better off knowledge-wise as well.
Absolutely.
So I'll just leave it at that. Sir Bishop, you still there, or are you not?
Yeah. I'm listening.
Okay. You have any responses to that?
No. I mean, the technology does play a very important role in that. Technology does play a very important role in financial literacy, and what you don't realize it, but those little squares that you have in your hand, that's like an encyclopedia. It's everything. It's everything.
Exactly.
It's a whole set. Like
for real.
Like you can learn about just about anything that you want.
Exactly.
Off of that internet. Yeah, there's a good thing and there's a bad thing.
Well, but again, it's out there. You understand? And you can
it's out there. Yep.
That's it. And once you have that, that's pretty much everything. You can maneuver much better, much clearer from that point. You understand?
Absolutely.
So brothers, with that being said, we can get more into this next time. Why not? That's always a good thing,
right?
And I would highly suggest people, if you're listening, to give Earn Your Leisure, that's EYL, on YouTube. Give them a look and see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna check them out myself.
Yeah, they're very good. They're very and right now they're coming into their own. They've been interviewing some very powerful people on Wall Street, interviewing like guys like Shaq, and they've been doing their thing. They're incredible. You know what I'm saying? So, and like I said, they do it for the culture. So,
Yep.
So with that being said, this has been Untitled. I'm R. Jones, your host. Thank you, David. Thank you, Bishop. Thanks to Dom and Craig and Reggie, I would say, but I'll say thank you, Reggie, anyway. All the fellas, you know what I'm saying? Got mad love for you. Love you guys. And I'll hit you up with the text in the morning, of course. So thank you. Have a great night. And peace out.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All right, peace.